What is going on out there, peeps? Yep, I'm back. As you can imagine, another suspension from YouTube. And get this, you ready for this? It was for a video I did like 8 months ago. Yeah. So here's my thing. You go through these, they put you through an AI audit first. If the AI audit picks up on something, then it tells you, it gives you like a yellow flag. So it gives you the option. You can go ahead and do the video without getting monetized for it. Or you can have a human review it, and more than one person will look at the video, like multiple people review the video. Now, the reason why I still send it for human review, despite the fact that I'm not monetized, is so that when and if how they ever monetize my channel, the video will go through without a hiccup, just like this one should have. But this video not only made it past the AI review and the human review, it was monetized. Then all of a sudden, all this time later, they want to hit me with another strike. So many of you know I am working on building a social media platform, and it takes a little while. We are getting it put together, but there's no rush for this. But now I'm being forced to create a web page in which I could put all my videos on. On that web page, I'll be able to speak freely about multiple subjects with no filter whatsoever, without the fear of being screwed with, suspended, anything like that. So I'll let you guys know when it's up. It should be up sometime this week. I'll fill you in more on that a little later, as well as catch you up on everything that's going on with me and what's going on with this channel. And some great things are coming. So I hope you guys stay tuned and get involved. All right. So we're going to get into something interesting here in just a second. But I want to remind everybody that if you're thinking about buying precious metals, and you should, right now is the time. Basel III is coming up. Silver delivery happened this month, May. Well, today's May the 30th. So by the time you get this video, we'll be already in June. So May, the silver deliveries were done, as it put the silver in negative once again. So the pressure of the value of silver is still trying to rise. It keeps slowly but surely creeping up in little increments, but a lot of people are, speculating on what's going to happen with gold and silver here shortly. And I think Miles hits it right on the nose, and that's why some of you brought his video to my attention. We're going to go ahead and review the video and talk about it. All right. I want to also encourage everybody to shoot over to our friends over there at Wall Street Silver, their YouTube channel, as well as Wall Street Reddit. There is some great information both on their YouTube channel as well as in their on their Reddit platform. To be honest with you, I love going to the Reddit platform and seeing all the pictures of the silver posted. It really fires me up. All right, so they're doing a great job, and they have had a tremendous impact on our industry. So our industry, we do. We own the silver. Okay, I want to remind everybody, when you see this, this is a fake me. I don't send anybody to WhatsApp or tell you to call a phone number. So if anybody down below pretending to be me, ask you to go to a WhatsApp or call me, do not do it. When I post something, my name has the gray around it like this. Okay? This is not me. This is me. Okay? See the difference? So I'm glad this example is there. This is happening to everybody. I'm going to be doing the interview with Rice and Lynette Zhang coming up here. I think it is on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'll get the details. I'm looking forward to that. As you know, I'm a big fan of Lynette Zhang. So I'm looking forward to hearing what she has to say. So you guys go ahead and post your questions down below in the comments, and I'll hit her up on that. Okay? So let's get into this. This is Miles Harris. I will refer to him from time to time, but this video that he did, you guys brought this to my attention, and we started to get into a nice discussion about it, but there is a lot of information on here that people are asking about. So I want to review this video that Miles has. I will leave a link to the video as well as his YouTube channel. All right, so he's a great guy. Go ahead and run over and check him out and subscribe to him. He does have some great information. But we're going to go ahead and cover what Miles is talking about, because he covers both the Basel III, its effect on gold, and why gold is going to go up. but also what's going on with the Great Reset and why we need to wake the hell up. Here we go.
Now, Basel III has been masterminded to try to avoid the mismatch of a bank's assets and its liabilities or capital, as with that which happened in the 2007 and 2008 collapse of Northern Rock and Lehman Brothers, where short-term liabilities were being used to finance long-term assets such as mortgage products. This then...
Yeah, but also... Trust me when I tell you this, the collapse of those banks, it was a test run. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. You guys hear me talk all the time about not only is gold and silver getting ready to revalue, but also you guys need to be careful because of a bail-in. So let's listen because he covers that as well.
Eventually led to a bank run on these banks and a lack of liquidity. As lending markets tightened and funding dried up, these banks then failed. Yet I now see Basel III as part of a wider monetary reset.
For those who don't know what a bank run is, I just thought about this. A bank run is when people panic about their money being in a bank and everybody rushes to the bank to pull their money out. So that's why I said the Lehman Brothers, the too big to fail banks, it was a run. It was a test run. This is going to be one of their excuses. They're going to go, oh, those evil bankers, look at it happen again, blah, blah, blah. We should go to digital currency. Therefore, it'll never run out and you will always have your money. See how they do that? They create the problems and then try to pretend they're giving you the solution when all along, the whole problem that they created was push you into their agenda, which is the solution. Okay?
Clearly part of the Great Reset and the need for debts to be offloaded to international institutions such as the IMF and World Bank. Previously, I'd been skeptical of those making such bullish predictions for the implementation of Basel III and its impact on the gold price. Yet I now see Basel III as part of a wider monetary reset, clearly part of the Great Reset and the need for debts to be offloaded to international institutions such as the World Bank and IMF. Previously, I had been skeptical of those making such bullish claims and predictions for the implementation of Basel III and the impact on the gold price.
Yeah, you're not hearing things. It's repeated twice.
But I was certainly aggrieved that gold had been given an 85% stable funding ratio, required stable funding ratio, and that simply means that gold required 85% high quality, long-term, expensive financing to actually hold gold as an asset on your balance sheet. Now, this would require banks to increase their shareholder equity to hold this gold. And clearly this will greatly increase the cost of financing activities for LBMA bullion banks, but it offers additional problems to the cronies at the LBMA, as highlighted in here in this open letter on the impact of the net stable funding ratio on the precious metals market. Given the persistent wish to manipulate metals prices, it seems bizarre as to why they would want to remove the paper market.
Ooh, I just want to back up just a little here. Let's enlarge this just a little bit. So you can see this is the World Gold Council. They're talking about what's coming up as far as Basel III is concerned. This is undermine clearing and settlements. This required stable funding for short-term assets would significantly increase the cost of LPMCL clearing banks. Basically, this is why the LBMA is complaining, or they want them to go ahead and delay this even more, because essentially it just does away with the need for the comics and well, not altogether, but the LBMA, what they've been monopolizing the value of precious metals for so long. This essentially wipes it out. They won't be able to, as far as we know, manipulate the value of gold and silver any longer. So it says the required stable funding would drastically increase costs for remaining members taking gold on deposit to be held in unallocated metals relative to the cost of providing custody of allocated. So basically, they're not allowed to have, unless I misunderstood what's really going on, they're not allowed to hold unallocated accounts. They must be all allocated. So the unallocated accounts is how they monopolize the whole industry. Okay? So very interesting that they're doing away with this. And it really is this $20 trillion industry, or I think it's like 20 trillion a day is what it is, or 20 billion a day. But anyways, they're just going to get rid of it. So it makes you wonder, like, wow, why would they sacrifice such a cash cow? You know what I mean? They would only sacrifice it if they knew something better and bigger was going to benefit them behind this.
To remove the paper market in London, given that it trades an average of $20 billion per day, which is more than $5 trillion per year. Almost all of this trading is in the form of unallocated precious metals. And so it seems that this market will dwindle in terms of the overall paper supply of gold. And this seems enormously bullish for the gold case.
Yes, it
does. Now,
does.
this video attempts to answer the...
For those you don't know, bullish is good, bear market bad. A bull run market means the value is going up. A bear market means it's going down.
Questions that have really puzzled me, including why there is a need for our central planners to end the paper markets and let the gold price begin to rise, for we know how much they have loved to manipulate the price of precious metals downwards, why it's needed now, and why the rules will be implemented.
See, but we talked about this. I've been talking about this in video, the Basel III. You know, our GDP, I think, is like 130. They need it down to 75, so we can understand why they would want to go ahead and reset the value of gold, and so they could clear as much debt off their books as possible. So if you're holding on to precious metals, this is good. Basel III will be implemented on June 28th.
First in Europe and then later in the UK. But make no mistake, this is clearly part of a wider monetary reset which is underway. And so the rules will first be implemented at the end of June in continental Europe. British banks will then be required to adhere to the new standards by January 1st, 2022. If everything goes ahead as planned, and this really gets to the heart of why Europe is first, and why, despite the economic dislocation that we're seeing right now, there is such a grave need for this process to begin in earnest. So first, why Europe?
Yes.
Well, the European banks are and have been on the brink of catastrophe for many years.
By the way, Miles Harris is going to make a great case for cryptocurrencies, and we'll talk about that.
Now, here we can see how badly the European banking index has been damaged since the 2008 financial crisis. What's more is that the European Central Bank under Christine Lagarde has been undertaking vast swathes of asset purchases via their QE program.
They did the same thing here in the United States. You notice they're doing this. See, pay attention. I told you guys this isn't good when they do this. There's a law that used to say that governments were not allowed to purchase assets. Why do you suppose that is? Well, one, they have unlimited access, or access to unlimited amount of money. But if they bought everything, that means they can manipulate the people. They're not allowed to do it. There's a little loophole, as we saw. That is when the Treasury took over, the Fed, BlackRock came in, and the Fed started using them to buy up all the assets here in the United States. What else do we see? Bill Gates, now the world's largest owner of farmland. Why the hell does Bill Gates need farmland? Well, one, to starve you to death because nobody's growing on them farms, by the way. You see, they need to reduce the population. I know you guys don't like this kind of talk. You know, it's tinfoil hat wearing, and it's because you were in this predicament. Stop thinking that everything is a conspiracy and pay attention to what the hell's going on, because it's real. Ask yourself again, why is Bill Gates owning all this farmland? And he's not farming on it. The Rona prevented deliveries of food, supplies everywhere, although, thank God, for Republicans who are opening up their states. They weren't supposed to be able to do that. And you can see the people are buckling down, trying to buckle down on these Republicans. But right now, there's a huge tide turning. It's not just 13 counties now doing audits. There are a ton of them. They want the truth to come out about what's going on. Now, you can see over there in Europe, they're doing what? The same thing. The European Central Bank does what? It's buying assets too. Why are our banks buying assets? They're buying houses. Why? Because what's it say in the Great Reset? You won't own anything. You'll rent everything and you'll be happy. Yeah, you should be weary of this. And see, they're keeping us so distracted with stupid shit like, oh, I don't know, Black Lives Matter movement. Oh, Asian hate, black hate, convincing people that communism should take over, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff. We're so distracted with this crap that we're not paying attention to what our politicians are doing. I've been talking about the Great Reset now for dang near a year. I love the fact that more and more people are talking about it, as they should.
Which has seen their balance sheets soar. As bonds have sold off in recent weeks, this has led to a substantial deterioration of the asset quality and asset values held by the ECB. And as I have pointed out in this video, the ECB is perhaps the one central bank which is most vulnerable to bankruptcy. The World Economic Forum, the Bank for International Settlements and other globalist institutions cannot have such a powerful central bank go bust. This would entirely mess up their plans for renegotiating with countries suffering sovereign debt crises. Yet the ECB has around 10,000 tonnes of gold marked to market at current rates. This amounts to just over $611.5 billion. Yet the ECB balance sheet amounts to around 7 trillion euros.
So if they have about $6 billion in gold, but they got 7 trillion in debt, what do you think that does to the revaluation of gold? Oh yeah. Are you holding on to gold and silver? I hope so. I hope your IRAs and your 401ks, at least transfer 25 to 30% of your holdings into precious metals. There's another reason why, not just the fact they're getting ready to revalue it, and they will. Bigly, as Trump likes to say.
Around $8.47 trillion. This is the sort of asset mismatch that we saw with Northern Rock and Lehman Brothers. And I've previously stated as to why central banks need a higher gold price to improve the quality of their balance sheet. And this is something that Janno.
You can see over there he's saying about 10,000 for gold. Right now it's probably sitting about, with your premiums and tax, just a little over 2,000 per ounce. Again, for those of you wanting to retire, hey, if you don't think anything's going to happen, just think of it this way. You could transfer 25 to 30% of your holdings into precious metals. Of course, if you do, give a consideration to our friends over at Money Metals. Let them know that Pimpy sent you. But let's say it does go up 5 times. Let's say you sent over, 200,000 of your holdings over there, and it goes up 5 times. Now you got $1 million. You're planning on retiring 5-6 years from now, but now you're going, well, sheesh, I could retire now.
House has also written of. So this is why it seems Basel III is needed now, but also because of what we have seen in crypto markets in recent weeks. With Bitcoin surging to beyond $60,000, this was clearly showing our central bankers up, and thus the mass attacks on Bitcoin began. These attacks were first led by Elon Musk, a complete fiat swamp creature. Yep, they went so far as to even get the Pope involved. Quite extraordinary for a digital currency.
Pope involved? What's the Pope say? Technically based on the use of highly polluting fossil fuels needs to be replaced without delay. There is reason to hope that humanity at the dawn of the 21st century will remember for having generously shouldered its grave responsibilities. Grave, I like how they put this, they know this. All right. So these are the same people who do what? fly around on private jets, trying to tell us what we need to do. This new green revolution, it has nothing to do with saving the environment. They don't give a crap about the environment. Stop letting them lie to you. This is what they do. They paint something up as some immediate threat. Oh my God, the world's going to end in 10 years if you don't do something. And they scare people into this. Oh my God, the end of the world. Climate change. I told you guys, this has been going on since I was a child. In the early 70s, they had us write letters to the president, our president, demanding that he do something. And it started this whole movement. Do something right away. Because we were going to be going into an ice age, and somehow whatever this thing was going to stop the ice age, which is a natural occurrence, by the way. But no, they had us scared to death, and they started with the kids. So we wrote our letters because you didn't want the ice age, the scary thing, to take over the whole planet and kill everybody. Well, the planet started warming up instead. Yep. So they go, oh, global warming. In the 80s, we start going in the opposite direction. Everybody's global warming. Now the ice capsules are going to melt. You ever look at the coastlines? There's pictures. Go Google a picture of Coney Island or Huntington Beach Pier or even above shot of the Statue of Liberty from 100 years ago. The water level hasn't changed at all. Stop letting them fool you, people. The coasts are going to be underwater. No, they're not. And they haven't. If that's the case, why are people like Obama buying houses right on the coast? Come on, man. So it's just a lie. They use fear to push you in a direction they want you to go in. Anybody else notice since the old Biden administration has been in office that we magically have seen what? And they're starting to happen more and more rapidly, now almost daily. What is that, Pimpy? Mass shootings. What do they want to do? Take away your guns, because this way you can't fight back, and people are going to be dumb enough to fall for it.
Which has done so much to help those in the developing world really get ahead. And so Basel III helps to...
Oh, I'm sorry, cut that off. What he's talking about is this. Cryptocurrencies have helped a lot of third world countries get ahead. I like that. Now, again, I want to say this. I just don't trust cryptocurrencies. Okay? I love what it stands for. I just don't trust that it's as safe as they claim for it to be. People keep going, well, if it gets to this level, the government can't close it down. Yes, it could. And it is. Anything that's going to be a threat to the currency they want you to use, and digital currency, they're going to eliminate it. They'll make every excuse. They'll go in there and they'll hack it. They'll say people are committing fraud. They'll create a story. They'll lie and scare the hell out of you to get you out of cryptocurrencies. So I love the concept and the need for it. But unless you could put it on a platform that cannot be touched, cannot be taken down, cannot be manipulated in any way, shape, or form, and is the most safest, the most secure, decentralized platform, then I don't trust it.
To actually fight back against the cryptocurrency market, but avoids the notion of having to draw too much attention to gold and undertake a hard reset of the type undertaken by Roosevelt in 1933. It also averts the need for a gold standard, and it will help to ensure that the ECB survives to introduce their digital euro, and thus it is no surprise to see reports of much increased central bank gold purchases, and even the BIS loading up to a tune of 1 million ounces. And of course this all builds upon the mass gold repatriations ahead of 2020 that I discussed in this video. Keeping the ECB in place is absolutely fundamental because, of course, the central bank digital currency will bypass their banking system, which, as we've already said, is on its knees.
You people in Europe, you want to crash them now, and this would be a huge hit and severely damage the Great Resets movement. Everybody run now. Do a run on your bank. Take out all of your money and start buying gold. Buy what you can afford. Take all your money. If everybody did it at one time, it would cause the banks to start to collapse. It would cause the ECB to collapse. You just heard them. The ECB is essential for the Great Reset, and they're on the verge of collapsing, and they can't afford that to happen. So if you force collapse them now, I know people are going, well, damn, that could cause a catastrophe all over. Yeah, you know what the catastrophe is? The exposure of all the corruptions and the need for us to go to the gold standard. These people are this close to taking over the world. That's not an exaggeration. But we're too focused on who's taking the knee and everything else. Although I think those are good subjects to talk about, you should also be aware of this movement.
Additionally, this approach will go some way towards restoring the credibility within the realm of central banking, it seems. Moreover, it will help to actually ensure that Klaus's Great Reset and George Soros' proposal of perpetual bonds, rebranding of current bonds to a new never-ending bond is introduced.
So how's this guy still living, man? I don't know how countries have not arrested this guy. I mean, he's in our country. I don't know how he manages to get around and not be arrested. This guy has solicited more crimes than anybody else and crimes against humanity, and still he walks. Well, because he got a lot of rich friends and they're very powerful. Billionaire financier George Soros backs perpetual bond solution to avoid UK's COVID debt hurting taxpayers. See, they don't have no problem with enslaving you. That's what they're doing. You see, they'll make all these outrageous claims, scare you, talk about these solutions they need, and guess who has to pay for it all? First of all, why are we letting the very people who mismanaged everything try to give us a solution for anything? Wake up, people.
Perpetual bonds and perpetual slavery, perhaps, courtesy of the IMF, World Bank, and so on. Thus, for gold bugs and those long clamouring for a revaluation of gold, there is a fly in the ointment here under these Basel III regulations. It seems we may well see a gradually phased-in market price of gold, which will delight the Russians and Chinese, while I'm sure Klaus, who was of course mentored by the most powerful banker in the German Third Reich, Hermann Abs, will accept this as a necessary prerequisite.
So yeah, that guy Klaus, I told you, anytime those high powerful Germans are behind anything, they're somewhere right behind it as it's linked to whatever Hitler was doing. So the most powerful banker mentored Schwab, the guy who's the founder of the World Economic Forum and is the head man of the Great Reset. Do you guys still feel comfortable now having somebody who was mentored by a Nazi? This is a guy, by the way, and we're talking about Klaus. This guy here, not him, him. This spooky looking fellow here supports transhumanism. He wants to transfer humans out of their bodies and into robots and enslave them. You won't be able to sleep. You won't be able to die. You'll be in a perpetual state of enslavement. Now, here's the scary thing. He talks about it so much, it makes you wonder, do they have the technology already? It's easy for people to sit back and go, no. Really? Are you sure? For every 1 year we advance in technology, our military advances 44 years. So it's weird that he would think of such a thing in his lifetime, and he's already, what, 700 years old? This guy is the boogeyman. This guy is the devil. He is the point man on the Great Reset.
By the most powerful banker in the German Third Reich, Hermann Abs, will accept this as a necessary prerequisite to ensuring that the ECB survives in place and the digital euro can be implemented. Digital euro in turn will facilitate the new world technocracy that they so long for. And so it seems probable, in my opinion, that gold prices will rise, and this is clearly what many will want exposure towards. But longer term, no gold standard will be implemented, and to that end, I think there is a real need to create a new parallel monetary system, and I think all should naturally therefore be cheering on the rise of crypto markets.
See, again, I agree. People will say, oh, Pimpy hates crypto. I don't hate crypto. I don't trust it. If you don't have some form of money outside of this system, you're going to be trapped in it. In addition to it, don't let them put us in such a position that we don't have a choice. You have to be in a position to fight back. So unless you have something outside of this system, if you guys don't start going buying, seeds to grow your own food, you're going to be hurting. They have no problems with killing you to get their point across. Start with your family, you guys. Start planning now. What have you done? Right now, while the internet is still available for us, start planning out different types of survival guides. What types of foods that you can grow naturally? Which ones grow the quickest? Potatoes, how to grow them. How to grow corn properly. How to grow any types of food properly. Start now. At least have those printed out and sitting in a binder. Water. Energy, like Lynette says. Money, gold to preserve your wealth, silver for bartering. Now I'm starting to think we shouldn't load up on some of those copper coins too. And the reason is they should use these copper coins and have them in different types of denominations. 25 cents, 50 cents, $1, $5, $10, $20. $50, $100, have them printed on there. This way then, when you deal locally with one another, you can use that as a currency outside of the system without having to use a digital currency. This 100% digital currency, they're going to make every excuse in the world to do away with money. They'll make it, they'll use, the Rona's on it or something. They'll make some type of excuse. You have to fight it with all your might.
And in particular certain privacy coins such as Monero and even Pirate Chain. I'm calling on all-out financial anarchism, a sound money revolution to overthrow the fiat system for good, and I truly hope you're with me. Now, a big thank you to the excellent articles written on this by Alistair MacLeod, Tom Luongo and Martin Armstrong. They have made for fascinating reading, and you can find the links to those articles in the description below.
That's on his video, so I will leave a link to his video. You guys know, all credit due. Miles Harris is, I like the way he does his videos as well. You guys know Chris Marcus as well as Lynette Zhang are a couple of people I listen to. Also, without a doubt, you guys got to go over and check out Wall Street Silver. Their videos are great, very informative. So there you go. We are going to revalue gold and silver, but they're going to try to avoid us going into the gold standard. Instead, try to use that to liquidate the ECB to keep it from collapsing and give a lot of credibility back to the central banks. People are going to start having faith in them once again. I like what Miles is saying. We should have an all-out war on fiat currency. Sure, that sounds good, but here's the problem, Miles. If you're telling us that the New World Order is trying to push us into 100% digital currency, how could you have an all-out war against a fiat currency using digital when that's exactly what they want us to do? So I'm concerned about that. You guys let me know what you think. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. Leave a comment. Are you guys ready for gold and silver? Because they're going to do a bank run. For those of you, I told you, hopefully you have somewhere in your house and you have the ability to do so. For those of you who do, you need to take a 6 months worth of money, bills, for all your bills. Take it out. Add another 10%, 15% for miscellaneous. Put it in your house somewhere. Put it in your safe somewhere. Because when a run-in happens on a bank, they close the banks down. Then they limit how much money you can get. Now, I've already had more than enough people get a hold of me. I had one gentleman telling me that he tried to pull out $250,000. The bank told him no. It's his money. No, it's not. I told you guys, once you deposit the money into the bank, they own the money. So he fought and he fussed about, he wanted to make a precious metals purchase. And I said, you didn't have to take the money out of your bank. Just do like a wire transfer, But it was shocking to hear this. He's like, show me I saw the little denial letter. They told him no. So in the past, you would have to set up an appointment, let them know that you're coming in to take out that amount of money, because sometimes banks don't have it. And then they would just say, sure, and they come in and you get the money. But he's saying no, they flat out refuse to let him have access to his own money. And he's not the first one. I heard somebody had a hard time just getting $10,000 out. And yeah, we get it. You have to fill out all kinds of forms and everything when you take out $10,000 or more. That wasn't a problem. They just refused to give him his money. So when I told him he could do a wire transfer, haven't heard back. I'm hoping he was able to do it. But if he's not, I'm definitely going to have to interview him so you guys are aware of this. If this is the case, and this is why now all of a sudden you notice that banks are becoming more and more stricter about access to your own money, which is once again why about 96, 97, 98% of my money is in precious metals. I don't trust the banks, nor should you. If there's going to be a run-in on money, it's going to cause a serious reaction to the stock market. I'm hoping you guys protected yourself. 25, 30% of your money in your 401ks or IRAs are now sitting in precious metals, I hope. You don't want to lose it. If you're not sure what to do, reach out to our friends at Money Metals. They'll help you. They'll walk you through the process and what you need to do. And what does it hurt? If nothing happens, then the money is still there either way. But if I'm right and the market crashes, and it will, you won't lose everything. You'll still have gold and silver. Also keep in mind, if they're getting ready to revalue gold to help wipe out a lot of this debt, well, jump on that wave right now. You can increase the size of your retirement account. As a matter of fact, increase it bigly. So don't procrastinate. Do it now. Anyways, hit the thumbs up button, you guys. If you are not a subscriber, please do so. Because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. Also, I will be giving you an update soon on the new platforms, and then let you know what we need to do. Again, I'm looking forward more than you'll ever know to being able to upload videos and do them unfiltered. Tired of walking on eggshells. And that's another thing too. For those who don't know, there's audits happening everywhere, and the results on lower tickets are already coming out. That a lot of these lower tickets, some of the candidates that have won actually didn't win, so it makes you wonder about everything else. But you'll learn more about that. The truth's going to come out. Anyways, you guys, that's it for now. Let me know what you think, and then I'll catch you later. For now, I'm out.